Thank you, everyone. You know, I live in Colorado, and in the West we have a saying that whiskey is for drinking and water is for fighting. After I joined the military 1 month before September 11th, I've done a lot of drinking of whiskey. I've done a lot of fighting. And most of that fighting was for the exploitation of other countries, mostly their natural resources, protecting the extraction and transportation of fossil fuels that have destroyed communities around the world. You know, I may have fought for oil in Iraq, but the next wars are going to be fought over water. The lack of resources of water are going to make the next future generation of Veterans for Peace members veterans of the Great Water Wars. You know, war is generally destructive to water. You know, in Iraq, I saw the demolition of infrastructure that helped get people clean water, destroying the infrastructure of waste systems that contaminated water systems, the pollution and contamination of chemicals and weapons into groundwater, into rivers that have destroyed communities. I fought in the Fertile Crescent that was nurtured by the Tigris and Euphrates River that is now too polluted to even swim in. Today, precious few can count on something so simple as just a cup of clean drinking water. Veterans for Peace has an Iraq water project where we're helping to deliver to communities with the assistance of some great organizations like Right for Relief and Development to get purification units, ultraviolet units, reverse osmosis units to communities in Iraq so they have clean drinking water. Most of these communities are hospitals, clinics, and schools. Veterans also made up a large contingent of water protectors at Standing Rock. You know, I want to mention that veterans, we take less of a risk than a lot of vulnerable communities when we become activists. Our privilege as military veterans protect us oftentimes from law enforcement, and we get better treatment in our legal systems. So I know we get a lot of credit for being there in Standing Rock and being in protests like this, but you're my hero. You take a lot more risks than I do when we step out into that street. It was really disheartening to see the militarization of our police force in Standing Rock, the use of private militias, the use of the National Guard against their own people. You know, we've got to fight. We've got to fight. And, you know, I was honored to be able to go up to the Arctic, where there's a war waging right now. Right now for our water.
Tell him, Garrett.
The Arctic National Wildlife Refuge is one of the most wild places I've ever been. And I was able to canoe for 12 days down the Canning River to the Beaufort Sea, from the Brooks Range to the Arctic Ocean. And, you know, there's no better example or way to witness the destruction of our environment and our water supply than in that area. But on the front lines of that battle are the Gwich'in people.
Right on. Yeah.
The Gwich'in Nation rely on the porcupine caribou herd for their lifestyle and their sustenance and existence. To them, this fight is not just an environmental battle. It is a human's right battle.
Right on.
It is a right to live. Yeah. You know, I wasn't going to mention this, but Jane really wanted me to. When I came home, I became very self-destructive. I was a sniper in Iraq. And because I perpetrated those crimes, I felt a heavy weight of grief and guilt. And finding my way into activism started to save my life. Repurposing myself and finding a new identity in the movement to serve this country in an honest way and protect my communities in a real way. That allowed me to start healing my moral injury. And if activism can save my soul, then activism can save the soul of this country. So let's band together. I'm so proud of you all.